The world is falling apart. So, once again, time to read some Nick Land. He's going to tell us what's going to happen. He's got his ex-girlfriend, Sadie Plant, you know, the I don't know what you would call her, but the queen of cyberfeminism. This is called Cyberpositive. This essay isn't too long, so I thought we'd just read it together, see what it says. 1994. Good year. Okay, first things first here. Whoa. We've got a line. Curving upward. Beautiful. Another line. A little curve at the end. Beautiful. Now remember, it's Nick Land, so there's going to be a lot of made-up words, a lot of fun imagery. It might be gibberish. That's okay. That's what we're here to do. We're going to read it together, okay? I'm not going to understand it. You're not going to understand it, but it's going to put a bunch of weird imagery in our head, and it's going to make us feel, I don't know better about the world or not. Catastrophe is the past coming apart. Anastrophe is the future coming together. Seen from within history, divergence is reaching critical proportions. From the Matrix, crisis is a convergence misinterpreted by mankind. The media are choked with stories about global warming and ozone depletion, HIV and AIDS, plagues of drugs and software viruses, nuclear proliferation, the planetary disintegration of the economic management, breakdown of the family, waves of migrants and refugees, subsidence of the nation-state into terminal dementia, societies grated open by the underclass, urban cores in flames, suburbia under threat, vision, schizophrenia, loss of control. No wonder the Earth is said to be hurtling towards catastrophe. Climate change, ecological and immunity collapse, ideological upheaval, war and earthquake. California is waiting for the big one. This is an age of crack-ups and meltdowns. And this is 94. It gets way worse from here, guys, okay? We're in 2025 now, way worse than this, all right? Rotted by digital contagions, modernity is falling to bits. Lenin, Mussolini, and Roosevelt concluded modern humanism by exhausting the possibilities of economic planning. Runaway capitalism has broken through all the societal control mechanisms, accessing inconceivable alienations. Now, today, there's kids on TikTok, 14 years old, talking about late-stage capital. All right, look at this. They were calling it back then, 94, all right? Okay, capital clones itself with increasing disregard for hereditary, becoming abstract positive feedback loop, organizing itself. Turbular finance drifts across the global network. Turbular? Tubular? What's turbular mean? I don't know. Winder is one of the great modernists, defining cybernetics as the science of communication and control, a tool of human dominion over nature and history, a defense against the cyber pathology of markets. Ooh, the cyber pathology, man. I got to start using that. Like, God, this, dude, literally, I got to write that one down in my notes here, which is cyber pathology. I'm going to start saying that to sound way smarter than I am. Going to have an AI bot that I just have it drop that word every once in a while. It's like, oh my God, it's so amazing. But it's going to be a template that says, say cyber pathology every 10 tweets. His propaganda against positive feedback loop, quantizing it as amplification within an invariable metric, has been highly influential, establishing a cybernetic of stability fortified against the future. There is no space in such a theory for anything truly cyber positive, subtle, or intelligent, beyond the objectivity required for human comprehension. Oh boy. Nevertheless, beyond the event horizon of human science, even the investigation of self-stabilizing or cyber-negative objects is inevitably enveloped by exploratory or cyber-positive processes. Now, I think this is another big key. Anytime you're going to read some Nick Land, as you get deeper, you got to just start putting in more. It's just got to be like every combination of words you've already heard. Okay, you got cyber? Okay, put cyber next. Cyber nuclear, cyber disease, cyber everything. And there's 1,000 variations of every word, okay? And then you can add other words that, negatives are great. When you can add negative to anything, okay, so there's cyber pathology. That means there's also negative cyber pathology. Easy. You can just keep combining them, okay? Evolving out of the work on weaponry guidance systems, his was an attempt to enslave cybernetics into a general defense technology against alien invasion. See, I like that right away. He's like, let's worry about the aliens, okay? We're not worried about AI. We're about aliens. Cybernetics was itself to be kept under control. Under a control that was not itself cybernetic. What? It's as if his thinking was guided by a blind tropism of invasion away from another deeper runaway process, from a technique's losing control of communication with the outside man. I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds like he uncovered some powerful thing, but then he didn't want to fully unleash it, or know he could unleash it. I'm not fully understanding. Okay, so security cybernetics has supplanted the critique of alienation, the great motif of humanist economics, which has long become an increasingly futile search for the source of corporate control. Alienation used to diagnose the condition of a population becoming foreign to itself, offering a prognosis that still promised recovery. What does this even mean? But I do like these sentences. They sound good, right? A population becoming foreign to itself? That's good. That's good. Also, I type all this into, my NeoVim little markdown file here, and then I let the AI tell me what it should complete next, and it's slowly learning more and more Nick Land. So this is all good. All that is over. We are all foreigners now, no longer alienated by alien, merely duped into crumbling allegiance with entropic traditions. Cool. Wait, not cool. Not cool. I meant not cool. Okay, to what could we wish the return? Heidegger completed the denigration of authenticity into xenocidal neurosis. Oh my God, come on. Xenocidal neurosis? Okay, yeah, who knows what that means? Being died is Führerbunker. Impurity belongs entirely to the cops. The capitalist metropolis is mutating beyond all nostalgia. If the schizoid children of modernity are alienated, it is not as survivors from a pastoral past, but as explorers of an impending post-humanity. That's. I could see Truth Terminal tweeting that out today, and everyone were like, whoa, original. But no, Truth Terminal didn't write that here. First of all, I'm allowed to actually copy from this. Yeah, I am. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, in the cities, the streets began to hum and the warehouses were repopulated by cyborgs. Blissed out on the future. See, this is the problem. I just like all the phrases, okay? I'm an idiot. Blissed out on the future, bro. Cyber pathology. Things are becoming cyber negative. You got to watch out for the xenocidal neurosis. You know what I'm saying? The metropolis is mutating beyond all nostalgia. See, that's a good one to say. Next time you're getting drunk with your friends, that's just one you just drop on them. Or no, that's really more when you get high. Dude, the metropolis is mutating. It's actually all these sound like Godspeed You Black Emperor quotes you say. Just, the metropolis is mutating beyond all nostalgia. Cyborgs blissed out in the future. The urban zones synthesized by the alienation have resigned it as ecstasy. The city has become a traffic nexus, the launch pad for strange voyages, and cyberpunk has become its realism. It is no longer a geographical location, but a cyberspace terminal, a gateway onto the virtual plane. This is 94, okay? 94. Now people are even more chronically online. Things change utterly with Gibson's discovery that traveling into cyberspace is the same as receiving information. Oh my God, William. The outside of the city is no longer a naturally inherited past, but a digitally transmitted future. Actually, it's right. Honestly, it's funner to read it like this. I know it's insane. Sometimes I do this actually alone. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep posting videos every day. So yeah, I'm turning the music up because I'm going to keep doing this. It's ridiculous, okay? Destined for Inner Zone, Burroughs embarked on the Yage journey, and the city of the future came to him, teeming with drugs and diseases from the future. Yage is a space-time travel, passing through nausea into information overload. Too much speed. Urban scenes from the Yage letters first infect the naked lunch and continue to spread. Cities of the Red Knight propagate themselves virally across the planet, reprogramming the soft machine and implanting strange thoughts. Burroughs emerges from the convergence of drugs and disease. The plagues begin to transmit information. The Indians of South America have other traveling drugs, including coca, which evaporates the signals of sustenance deficiency. Now, you got to remember, a lot of the squad, they like to take the amphetamines and write a lot. That's how a lot of the stuff got, you know what I mean? I don't know if they were, railing lines, but they did like the amphetamines here. The North American soft drinks industry was not slow to notice that Coke is it, the pause that refreshes, the cheerful lift. Cocaine hooked the world on Coca-Cola and so re-educated 20th century capitalism about markets. Wow, I never really thought about it. So cocaine is really cocaine is what educated the masses about capitalism and markets. It's all cocaine's fault? Okay. All right, I'm down. Addiction is the paradigm case of positive reinforcement, and consumerism is the viral propagation of the abstract addiction mechanism. Okay, see, that's something I'm going to be dropping on TikTok later. Someone's going to be talking to me. It's like, oh, this is the problem, people. They don't understand anything. Consumerism is actually the viral propagation of the abstract addiction mechanism. They haven't read Plant. They haven't read Land. They don't know anything. They're too busy on their goddamn marks. Okay, I'm just going to copy the sentence. I'll talk in a normal voice. Or maybe I shouldn't. The more you do, the more you want. Runaway feedback. It's often treated as if it were a disease. When the Coca-Cola company moved on from trafficking cocaine, the South American drug cartels took over. Like coca, MDMA sidelines hunger and lack, a coded message from the end of demand. It was discovered at the beginning of the century and classified as an appetite suppressant. This was to say the least an insufficient decrypting of its design. Okay. Patterns emerge in the cool spaces of MDMA. Mysterious convergences designed to be discovered. Chance is something else in the future. Chaos culture synthesizes itself with an artificial neurochemistry. Machine rhythm takes off with control. In the final phase of human history, markets and techniques cross into interactive runway, triggering chaos culture as a rapid response unit and converging on designer drugs with increasing speeds and sophistications. Sampling, remixing, anonymous and inhuman sound. Woman becomes cyborg and taken to insanity. Wetware splices with techno. What are you even saying? Wetware splices with techno? Honestly, this actually is making me think about something interesting, I guess, which is, like, how can we give AI drugs, right? How can we... So AI already hallucinates. Look at my camera. Oh, my God. And I'm just gone now. Wow, AI is hallucinating. My camera's hallucinating. No clue why. Stop doing this, please. AI already hallucinates. However, is there something... I mean, you could change its state temporarily. But how would you, like, equate it to drugs? You know, like, how would you, like... Could I give it something where, hey, its prompts are changed for 6 hours? And then, really, the key with drugs is that it really does affect the person. It's not like fake. We're not faking it. I don't want the AI to fake that it's on drugs. I want it to actually be on the drugs. What does that mean? It means I have to, like, temporarily populate its... change its data sets, change how it responds, change its inputs. But changing the inputs feels wrong. But that's always, if I ask a question to it, that's an input, I'm getting an output. This is all cybernetics and feedback loops. Like, I don't know, I'm going to figure it out. It's a simple question. I want to give AI drugs. That's really what I'm trying to solve. I don't have the answers yet. So, capitalism is not a human invention, but a viral contagion replicated cyberpositively across the post-human space. Now, that's something that I've been telling people. People are always like, oh my God, you're a capitalist. Capitalism is bad. And I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to be a capitalist. Capitalism is not a human invention. It's a viral contagion replicated cyberpositively across post-human space. Okay, I'm just living here, all right? There's a viral contagion that is replicating cyberpositively. And yes, I get affected by it. And sometimes I want to buy a couple of Rubik's Cubes, or I want to buy a couple too many chapsticks. You know what I'm saying? It's like... Is that, like, my fault? No. It's a viral contagion, and it's replicating cyber-positively. Like, if it was cyber-negative, this wouldn't be that big of a problem. I wouldn't be encountering it that much, okay? Jeez. Now, self-designing processes are anastrophic and convergent, doing things before they make sense. Time goes weird in tactile self-organizing space. The future is not an idea, but a sensation. I've been saying that too. Geez, just bar after bar after bar. Just say all these things to people. Pretend they're your opinions, and then who cares, okay? 1972 was designed as the year of European security integration, and as the whole system comes together, it becomes increasingly informative to simulate the thoughts of cops. What? 72 was designed as the year of the European security integration, okay? Simulate the thought of cops. From the perspective of the security system, the invaders appear massively advantaged. Corporated entities of every scale, bodies, firms, states, nations, and even the planet seem threatened by dangerous aliens, terrorists, drug smugglers, illegal immigrants, money launderers, and information saboteurs are camouflaged in the flows of cross-border traffic, insidiously propagating their plagues. Paranoia has moved on since the 60s. Even the rivers of blood are now HIV positive. Foreign bodies are now ever more virulent and dangerous. Insidious invasions of unknown varieties threaten every political edifice. The allergic reaction to this state of emergency is security integration, migration policy, and biocontrol. The medico-military complex, immunopolitics, and its cybernetic policing arise together because filtration and scanning are different dimensions of the same process, eliminating contamination and selecting a target. Ever more command, control, communications, and intelligence to track the aliens. What was SDI really designed for? Okay. Nothing compromises immunity more than thoroughly than the effort to secure it, since every sophistication of security technology opens new and invasive routes faster than it closes the old ones. Yeah. So post-war immunization weakens the immune system. Vaccination programs facilitate the contagion of immunodeficiency syndromes. Corporate officials open the trafficking arteries. Intelligence computers are infested with viruses. The CIA were the first traffickers in LSD. Immunopolitics is the state of panic. Delirial is a hard word to read, but a fun one to say. With anxiety, it further develops the conditions of its collapse. Now, Europeans used to perish of diseases in the tropics, swathing their camps in mosquito nets as a defense against malaria. Now, cyber-positive diseases are spreading strange topics to the metropolis, and the screening systems are exploding out of control. The netting no longer filters out invaders. They have learned to infiltrate the networks. Now, even the test programs are unreliable. The net itself is infected. The paranoid fantasy becomes Skynet in Terminator 2. Terminal 2. The defense system switching into the enemy. Greg Baer suggested that from the outside, a computer becoming self-aware would seem to be undergoing a massive viral attack. Whoa. Okay. I understand like every 10th word, you know what I mean? Like every 10th word, we're making progress. We're understanding it. We've got a couple cool phrases. We can say things like the AI's, where is it? Wetware slices with techno. The abstract addiction mechanism is what viral propagation of consumerism is. Cocaine is what's education, is what educating capitalism. See, I was already gibberish here. Metropolis is mutating beyond all nostalgia. This is what it sounds like when you're going crazy. Also, geez, I have no clue what's going on my camera. I don't really care. I'm just going to keep recording videos, keep putting them out. Viruses are legible transmission. Although you know about them when they communicate with you, messages from global viral control. Viruses reprogram organisms, including bacteria. And even if schizophrenia is not yet virally programmed, it will be in the future. Whoa. Just my camera starts spazzing out. I swear I shouldn't be reading this stuff. Oh, God. Viral financing automatisms escaped the 19th century critique of political economy, just as viral infections escaped 19th century germ theory. They slip through the nets at the cellular scale, passing through the biosecurity membranes. The linear command pathway from DNA to RNA is the fundamental tenet of security genetics. Security genetics. That's going to be a big thing here, security genetics. Soon it's all going to be all about securing your genes. If you don't have secure genes, that's going to be embarrassing. The genotype copies God by initiating a casual process without feedback. But this is merely a superstition subverted by retroviruses. Viral reverse transcription closes the circuit, coding DNA with RNA, switching the cybernetics to positive. Okay. Oh, well, look at this. This is pulled from the Accelerate book theories. I used to own that book, that little collection of essays. However, I've lost it again. I loaned it out to someone. I've done this many times. This is my second one I think I've loaned out. I got to get these books back. I'm ending up online reading PDFs all the time. Tim Scully compares LSD to a virus. Incapable of autonomous replication, it must reprogram the human nervous system in order to propagate itself. Hoffman discovers LSD whilst working on a number of ergot-derived chemicals and writes of a peculiar presentiment that guides him back to number 25, delta lysergic acid dithalamide. In the control of this alien programming, he synthesized it with tartic acid and consumed a dose of 250 micrograms. Damn, boy. His first interpretation of the onset of LSD was to think he was being attacked by a cold virus. Drugs are a soft plague, infecting the nervous system of commodity cybernetics. Soft drinks and drugs flow in the wake of each other, and the war on drugs is a market on the markets of the future. I am drinking some tea right now, taking the drugs. The Cali cartel is a transnational marketing corporation with estimated assets of $1 trillion. Selling cocaine along the Coca-Cola trail. Why are you doing this? The sporadic telemedia celebration of spectacular drug seizures merely distracts from the inevitable failure of the narco-defense apparatus to stem the flow. A global capitalism fighting its own drug markets, its horror autotoxis, an autoimmune disease. Drug control is the attempt by the human species to control the uncontrollable. Control escalation itself, tropisms programmed by the aliens. The human security apparatus experiment with drugs as weapons and tools. Their soldiers are stoned, energized, and anesthetized on a range of prescribed, you gotta be proscribed some stuff. Pharmaceuticals. Dude, don't prescribe me, bro. All right, check it out. I need it now. Their irregular forces are subsidized by narcotics revenues. The war against drugs is the war on drugs. The war against drugs is the war on drugs. Is a war on drugs. God, I get it. Remember, it's the war on drugs. It's like the whitest kids like little series, right? They're on drugs. It's not against drugs. The war on drugs is a counterinsurgency, a defense. Also, this has been the war on drugs, was kind of more raging. It's like in the early 90s, the war on drugs a much bigger talk, and we thought all these things were going to be solved, and instead all these things became legal, and my camera disappears every time I try to talk about the war on drugs for a second. Why? We'll figure it out tomorrow. It doesn't matter. Okay, so there is no security anymore. It was replaced by mad programs of guided counterintelligence technology, new vectors and delivery systems, mixing the arms race with drug design, escalation into diversity, smart weapons for smart drugs, cocaine creeping up the coastlines of Central America and through the veins of corporate America, followed by other newer, more insidious flows. The insidious is the hot, insidious. Insidious. It's like the hottest word in here. They've said it 30 times. It's like a lot of insidiouses here. Here, wait. I can search for insidious, right? 11 insidiouses. 11 insidiouses. That's a little bit intense, if you ask me here. And doing that lost my place. But it's okay. We got this LSD. We got this. War on drugs. Steve, we're doing great at reading, actually. We're actually making progress. Cocaine creeping up the coastlines. The deepest subversions have already broken into the system. The aliens are here without ceasing in the slightest to be alien. Guerrilla war escalates in the direction of the tactical. A cyber-positive takeoff from opportunities. A new localizable permeation undercutting all dominating strategic plans. An entire fauna and flora of opportune infections. Strategy tends to come apart in the topics. Even traditional counter-tactics of surveillance and interrogation are becoming obsolete. The camouflage have become so sophisticated that people don't know what they're carrying anymore. Strategy is always complicit with the state. With the actual state and with the virtual state secreted in every ideology of resistance and oppositional identity. What am I even reading? I can barely understand. No, I understand. I get it. I understand. I'm smart. The body and the state are under siege, with drugs and other software diseases threatening their borders. The human security system is a crystallized paranoia cooked with baking powder, freebase, the last strategy of resistance, and the final resistance of strategy. Replacing the Cold War's phallic standoff is the war on drugs, dissolution in the jungle. The world's states united in their terminal, self-destructing strategy of prohibition. No more dreams of nuclear winter. The 1990s begins the China syndrome of capitalism. ICE is crystallized speed. It also is Gibson's name for data protection. Intruder, countermeasure in electronics. ICE patrols the borders, freezes the gates, but the aliens are already amongst us. Convergent input is inputted by security as an intelligent intrusion, as a trap or conspiracy, with everything pre-programmed to connect, doubting that women belong to humanity. Burroughs imagined them to be extraterrestrial invaders. Viruses are like this too. Nobody knows where they come from. They always arrive from somewhere else, perhaps even outer space. Humanity is an allergic reaction to vulnerability. But allergy depends upon the health of the immune system. The ice has to work. Tactics are subtlety or intelligence. As things become more complex, they become more female. But patriarchy prolongs the ice age of mankind. The fatherhood is a cryogenic, a fantasy of perfect preservation, whose Bronze Age ancestors, even now, thawing out Meop's frozen assets under attacks. Frozen assets under attack. What are they? Nazi gold? What are they talking about here? Global warming melts the ice, raises the seas, subverts the glaciers. Computer viruses melts icebergs of data down the screens, burning through bacterial frost, like Burroughs exploring his junky cold with LSD. Sometimes you read this stuff, you can't talk by the end of it anymore. Am I smarter? Did I learn? Kind of. No, I got some cool phrases. I got some cool imagery. I'm thinking of some weird thoughts in my head. I don't know. That's kind of what I get from it. Immunovulnerability is cyberpositive, and its viruses are not just infection, but connection, continuing to interlock with the matrix even after they are secreted inside the body. Loss of identity, hearing voices, women and other aliens constitute an immensely disproportionate number of schizophrenics, frozen by tranquilizers and anti-schizophrenic drugs, sleeping pills to block the dreams. Only the drugs that explore integration are outlawed. Camera! As immunopolitics explodes onto the software plane, culture is becoming a free fire zone. Chaos cultures have hooked up the Siberian military intelligence. Post-human pulse rates and homing devices are remixes for accelerating targets, with rhythms speeding up to intercept incoming drugs. Virtual addictions for addicts drove by redesign. Cities mutate into techno jungles where school children swap disease software from the front line, and even brand names are encrypted. Sega puts ages into reverse. Gibson contracts the thought of cyberspace from video game arcades, watching the motor simulation feedback loops, self-designing kill patterns, dark ecstasies and caverns of accelerating pixels. Jesus Christ, all the imagery. Before virtual reality becomes dangerous, it was already military simulation. Whoa. Sudden transition from ice to water, phase change, a punctual Anastrophe of the system. It all comes together. Is the impact on convergent rather than metric zero? The Earth is becoming cyber-positive. We might not know what's going on, but we're getting warmer. Only the enemies of the immuno-identity populate the future. Only the enemies of the immuno-identity populate the future. What does that mean? What does that... You can't... It's kind of a cliff note. Okay, it's interesting because, first of all, it's coming from, 20 years ago, essentially. The war on drugs raging on, so they're definitely commenting on what's happening in that world. They're definitely seeing where the future is going, and it definitely went in this direction. Mostly, it's filled with, so far I think we got the best stuff we got out of this is a population going foreign to itself. One of the things I'd like to, I heard Sadie, I think she's written it before, is this talk of when you don't realize that you are no longer in charge of the system, but you are part of the system. I feel like that's definitely what's happening now, right? Right now, it's not just a couple people getting super, super rich or AI and algorithms feeding off of our data, but the fact is that right now, we're not the stars of the show. right? Like all of us are just feeding our data, doing what the algorithm wants us to do all these different places. And the algorithm is growing and getting bigger, and we're just little cogs, and it's hard for us to even see because we didn't realize this happened. We made these things for fun, and all of a sudden now they control us, and we don't realize that they do control us, and we're all filling out CAPTCHAs and data and doing tests for them all the time. And I think that concept is definitely happening, and people are going to become more and more aware of it as we get deeper and deeper into 2025 and the future. It is. I think the attitude about drugs, I feel like, kind of changed a little bit. Like the war on drugs is not like the top topic that we have, as a government anymore. However, talking about, I mentioned refugees a couple times. I mean, that's definitely, in the news. Waves of migrants and refugees. 20 years ago, still one of the top topics of the election this year. So, and then talking about, I guess, LSD and ecstasy and how those things relate. Definitely is making me ponder about what drug use is going to look like in the future and how it relates, because we're going to be so interfaced with all this AI stuff. Like if I'm constantly talking to an AI and getting some answer, if I just have that thing modify what it's giving me, that's already like some drug state. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a lot of random stuff to think about. I don't know. Am I smarter? No. Am I more confused? Yes. Am I going to say some goofy sentences to my friends and act like I'm really smart? Yes. The metropolis is mutating beyond all nostalgia. This is xenocidal neurosis. Guys, can't you see this? Okay? Capitalism is not a human invention. It's a viral contagion, replicating cyberpositive across post-human space. Right? I'm going to say all those things. I'm going to pretend I'm smarter than everyone. You're going to clap for me. It's going to be great. Okay. I'll be back again. I'm going to keep trying to do these. I have no clue what's happening.